The NBA wants this gone. But it's too late. Spurs legend Sean Elliott just went off on every single player who came up through the AAU system. No filter. No holding back. And then, he took it one step further. He said Wembanyama is better than every American player in the league right now. That's when everything exploded. And it all started with this.
He has a Kobe-type mentality. He's had it from day one.
So here's what happened. The entire NBA spent the last few weeks having a full-on meltdown. But because a real Spurs legend decided to just tell the truth. Sean Elliott sat down with Basketball Network. And instead of playing it safe, instead of giving that boring, corporate, say-nothing answer everyone's used to, he dropped a bomb. He compared Victor Wembanyama to Kobe Bryant. Said Wemby has that same dark, locked-in, obsessive competitive fire. From day one. From the moment he was drafted. But that wasn't even the part that broke everything. This was. Elliott straight up said Wemby is nothing like these American players. Nothing. He said Wemby isn't trying to make friends in this league. He doesn't care about the superstar buddy system. He's not interested in the soft, feel-good fraternity that everyone else is desperate to be part of. And that sent the whole internet into a spiral. Every sports show, every group chat, every hot take merchant, absolutely lost it.
He's not concerned about being your friend or this guy's friend, or he does not care what anybody else is going to say. He just wants to win.
And of course, right on cue, the TV guys lost their minds. The morning show analysts started whining, called Elliott divisive, said he was stuck in the past. Give me a break. What those guys completely missed. Elliott wasn't just talking trash. He was pointing at a real problem. A deep, ugly rot that's been killing this league for years. Wemby is the middle finger to all of it. While American stars are out here acting like influencers and business partners, this 7'4" alien from France is operating in a completely different world. Ice cold, isolated, unbothered, and you don't even need to take anyone's word for it. Just watch him. While your favorite stars are laughing at half court, doing secret handshakes with guys on the other team, Wemby walks right past them. Like they don't exist. He blanks people. Dodges the fake smiles. Uses warm-ups to build a wall in his head before the game even starts. He didn't cross the Atlantic to network. He came here to win. And to hurt whoever stands in his way. That's Kobe energy. Plain and simple. Kobe didn't see Allen Iverson or Tracy McGrady as friends. He saw them as targets. People to break. To embarrass. To eliminate. Wemby is bringing that exact same thing back to a league that's been way too comfortable for way too long. Now here's where it gets really crazy. Wemby didn't just admire Kobe from a distance like a fan watching highlights. He walked into San Antonio, went on the Spurs' own media account, and ranked Kobe Bryant above Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan. 5 championships. The godfather of San Antonio basketball. Old school Spurs fans were ready to riot. But honestly, can you blame the kid? Now let's be clear. This isn't about disrespecting Kobe or MJ. Not even close. This is about understanding how a 22-year-old genius is taking that same psychotic blueprint and rebuilding it for a brand new era. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. Jordan and Kobe ruled through fear. They terrorized their own teammates. Kept everyone on edge. And look back then? That made sense. You needed that. The league was war. Remember when Jordan punched Steve Kerr in practice? But Wemby? He's doing something different. Something smarter. Inside that locker room, he's building a brotherhood. He's close with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper. He hosts late-night gaming sessions. He protects his teammates when the media tries to bait him. He buys into Pop's family-first culture completely. Don't mistake that for weakness though. Because here's what he's actually doing. By keeping his locker room tight and loyal, he's built an army. And every single drop of that cold, antisocial, ruthless energy, he saves it all for the other 29 teams. Inside the building, your family. Put on a different jersey? He's coming for you. And we saw exactly what that looks like in the playoffs against Minnesota. Game 4. Wemby catches a flagrant 2 ejection after catching Naz Reid with an elbow. Media starts waiting for the apology. The PR statement. The soft corporate response. It never came. He didn't apologize. He didn't back down. Not even a little. Now picture Kobe in that same moment. Picture him. They wouldn't be writing apology letters either. They'd be using that moment to send a message. To plant fear in the whole series. And the old school guys? They loved every second of it. Charlie Villanueva and Raymond Felton came out swinging in Wemby's defense. Villanueva called him the new face of the league. Said he's single-handedly dragging the NBA back to the physical era. Back to when you actually had to earn your respect on that floor. And Wemby backs it all up with numbers that shouldn't even be real. 12 blocks. In a single playoff game. Against Minnesota. Villanueva and Felton said it straight. This generation of pampered stars is not built to handle someone that big, that physical, with that kind of mentality. They just aren't. But here's the thing. This softness didn't just appear out of nowhere. There's a system that created it. It all leads back to the AAU circuit. Basically a giant summer camp pipeline. Elite teenage kids riding air-conditioned buses, staying in luxury hotels, playing in uncoached shoe company showcases. By the time draft night comes around, they've spent years trading jerseys, hyping each other on Instagram, and building little brand alliances. Complete opposite of the 80s and 90s. Back then, Isaiah Thomas, Jordan, Larry Bird, those guys would rather eat glass than be friends with a rival. If you wore a different jersey, you were a threat to their livelihood. Today, final buzzer hits and they're sprinting to center court for hugs. Planning yacht trips to Ibiza. Making TikToks together. It drains the competitive life right out of the league. And the system spoils these kids before they've won a single meaningful game. Shoe deals. Millions of followers. Media protection. All of it handed over before they've proven anything. So instead of being obsessed with winning, their energy gets split. Between the game and the lifestyle. Look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Generational talent. No question. But half his public identity is about curating the perfect outfit post for fashion blogs. When your energy is split between being a player and being an influencer, you're never going to reach that unhinged, locked-in level that Kobe lived at. You're just not. And the podcast thing? Don't even start. Active max contract players hosting weekly shows during the season. Laughing with their rivals. Trading inside jokes. Completely killing any real competitive fire between them. It's hard to go to war with someone in the playoffs when you were giggling with them into a microphone 2 days ago. Remember when LeBron sat down with Tyrese Halliburton and said the modern era was better than the 90s NBA? Yeah. That's the problem right there. Which is exactly why Sean Elliott was telling the truth. Victor Wembanyama is just built different.
Early on when we got him, I said he's not like these American-born players. He's not trying to be friends with anybody. He's trying to be friends with his teammates.
Wemby didn't grow up in that soft American bubble. He grew up in French professional leagues. Getting knocked around by guys 10 years older than him. That environment doesn't leave any room for fake friendships or performative brotherhood. But you want the ultimate proof of how cold this kid actually is? Look at what he did to Rudy Gobert. Rudy spent nearly a decade as Wemby's big brother. Mentoring him. Guiding him up through the ranks. And the second the Spurs-Timberwolves playoff series tipped off this year, Rudy went to the media and admitted their text thread had gone completely silent. Gobert literally told reporters they just say hi on the court. That's it. Wemby didn't just outplay his mentor on the floor. He psychologically cut him off the moment the postseason started. That's straight out of the Mamba playbook. Remember the 2008 Beijing Olympics? Kobe's teammate, his brother, his championship partner, Pau Gasol, was suiting up for Spain. And the night before the game, Kobe walked into the USA locker room and told everyone he was running straight through Pau's chest on the very first play. And he did exactly that. For that game, Gasol was the enemy. Simple as that. Wemby has that same ice running through him. But the coldest, most personal, most unhinged beef in Wemby's life didn't start in the NBA. It started at the FIBA Under-19 World Cup. July 2021. Riga, Latvia. Team USA showed up loaded and heavily favored. All these hyped AU kids expecting an easy gold medal. Then a 17-year-old Victor Wembanyama decided to ruin everything. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8 blocks. He was single-handedly dragging France to a historic upset until he fouled out in the final minutes. France lost by just 2 points. And then came the moment that started it all. They gave the tournament MVP to Chet Holmgren, the guy who got cooked by Wemby all night. He walked away with the trophy. You think a hyper-competitive mind like Wemby's just let that go? He flew home to France with a silver medal and a score to settle. Fast forward to today and the media keeps pushing this friendly rivalry narrative. Two skinny big men. Co-built for the future. Great for the league. Total fairy tale. Jeff Teague blew the lid off the whole thing on Club 520. These two genuinely cannot stand each other. And then during a live post-game interview on NBA on Prime, a reporter tried to get Wemby to play along with the friendly rivalry script. Asked about Chet. Set it up perfectly for a nice, PR-approved answer. Wemby didn't take the bait. He looked straight at the reporter and said, "The MVP is on that court. He is our main focus. Anybody is hard to guard when you have to help on the MVP." He never said Chet's name. Not once. He basically told the entire world that Chet isn't a star. He's just a guy who benefits from standing next to a real MVP. That's not trash talk. That's an erasure. And it was absolutely filthy. Prime Kobe would have been proud. And speaking of Kobe, Wemby casually admitted in a post-game interview that he thinks about Kobe Bryant almost every single day. Especially when his body is broken down. Especially when his mind starts to turn on him. That's exactly why Sean Elliott used the words borderline insane and borderline genius in the same sentence to describe him. That's the kind of language people only ever used for Kobe and MJ. And if you want one final picture of how far ahead Wemby is from everyone else, just look at the All-Star game. Kenny Smith called it out on TNT. Every pampered domestic star treats that weekend like a vacation. Protecting their brand. Protecting their body. Going through the motions. Wemby played like his life was on the line. That says everything.
To Wembanyama, who's made the statement that he was going to play hard, it reminded me of the late, great Kobe Bryant at one.